Now, do you want to talk about your best paranormal experience?
First,
Who's going first?
paranormal experience. Who has a story already ready in their head?
Nicole does.
I do? Okay, so 4 years old, dead neighbor. My mother was telling me not to do something, I did it anyway. I was playing with something I shouldn't have been playing with.
Sounds like me.
Yes! And my mom's like, oh, I'm taking that from you. So she takes it and puts it on top of like this big hutch. And she goes into the kitchen, grabs something, and goes back out, and there I am playing with it. And she's like, that's not cool. My mother was like, how did you get that? And I said, Linda gave it to me. And she's like, who's Linda? And so at this point, they saw me with the object. Hearing Linda gave it to me for some reason gave them comfort. So they were like, okay, well, Linda shouldn't have gave it to you, and I'm putting it back. So my mother picked it up and put it back. Well, she goes up the steps and comes back down, and I'm playing with it again. Well, that's what pissed her off. My mom was not happy. And so she asked my great-grandmother, my God, there's something wrong with her. You know, of course. It's like I was in therapy at 4 because my mother couldn't just accept paranormal. Because then when I confirmed it was a dead neighbor, that kind of freaked them out. So she was like, let's make sure there's nothing wrong with her. So I was literally tested at like 4 or 5. They did a lot of stuff. Like, it was just weird. I was like, I felt like the kid, whenever I fire start her, when they have her locked up the machines, I was like, really, Mother? She would like cry to the doctors, things are happening. It was just like my childhood was weird because it's not normal to go into somebody's house and pick out the dead relatives that are standing there and being able to describe them and talk to them. I don't do that anymore though. I don't even, so if you see me in a room, don't ask me because I don't want to do it. So, because that's literally, you're just a little too close. And I don't want to do that anymore. So they had me hypnotized and I blocked it out. At 7, they had me hypnotized. And then I didn't see anything for about 7 years. And then I had a situation and it came back. And it's been here ever since. And I was like 13. And that wasn't fun. So that was interesting because it comes back like a wave. And next thing you know, you're like in a different world. It's weird. But I'm gotten used to it. I mean, I talk to other psychics. Like that book, Growing Up Psychic. Have you, like, because things happen and you don't know why. And you wonder, is it me? Or is it you? Or is it like people? There's points where I honestly thought there's people, like a group of people, like I was so, I don't even know what the word is to use to describe that. I thought everybody was doing it on purpose. Like playing a trick on me. Like, oh, why don't we tell her, Nicole, no, we weren't there. You know what I mean? Like just, I really thought there was a conspiracy at one point.
Right.
And then I realized there wasn't, you know, but it was just weird. The things that I saw was like, but I still see them. And I see it as an opportunity to help people. And I am a scaredy cat. You guys are fearless. I'm going to give you that. You really are. I love it. I'm like...
Yeah, but we suppress your scaredy cat.
Yeah, you kind of do. You drag me through places that I would like normally...
I think probably if I saw what she saw, I'd be a little bit more scared too. Because you actually see them. I see shadows. That's what I see. I don't see full out.
Like, no, I'm getting visual.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Visual.
I don't see, thank God,
All
I
of
don't see
it.
that. I see shadows. So shadows aren't too scary to me. I can do
Imagine somebody looking like there was a rail that went through their face. Like when I go to the railroad tracks, I see rail faces. I'm like, oh my God, how do I look at this? And I know that I'm not normally seeing rail faces. So I know this is, I don't go to Dunkin' Donuts and there's like this bloodied head in front of me.
All right, it's time to make the movie Real Face. That'd be scary.
You can get that guy from MPEG to play Real Face.
Yeah! Yeah, Andrew. Andrew, will you play Real Face and chase us through the train tracks? That'd be nuts. That would be kind of nuts. Yeah.
Okay, Jen, do you want to talk about an experience you had?
Well, see, my first experience that I had was after my father had died. It was shortly after he had died. And I remember laying in my bed, crying in my room with the lights off. And I remember a dark figure sitting on the end of my bed, and my bed sinking. It just sunk. And I remember taking my sheets and pulling them up over my head, you know, and just sitting there going, did it go away yet? Did it go away yet? And like, I mean, I've experienced that. I grew up in a house that had poltergeists. I've experienced shadows. That's what I see. I see shadows and
like shadow figures, like the dark
figures.
It looks like it just looks somebody walking, and like charcoal. Like charcoal walking figure.
It's dark figures.
I see this too.
I've seen
That's
them.
what I see.
Yeah. You saw one when we were at that place.
The big winged creature.
Were you there for the first train tracks? No. We gotta, Jen, we gotta get you on
It was
the
just
tracks.
this like big black blanket that whipped across the sky.
It was hot.
Yeah,
It's weird.
but it's like, you know, I've always seen dark shadows. You know, the house I grew up in, things would fly across the room, or there was one that was like a trickster that everybody in my family heard.
Ooh, no!
Yeah, thanks.
I would start yelling at them
things
immediately.
like that. They were like,
I would start yelling at them. That's how I handle. I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
I would call them right out on it. That's why they don't like me, because I'm just like, do it once, do it twice, we're gonna have a situation. And that's what I tell them. I'm like, look, expunging you isn't difficult because there's like a suction cup behind you. The moment they turn to that light, they can't help but, because it's the second time it comes, it just sucks them in. So it's like whatever, getting into whatever that tube is, whatever things are gonna warp them to the next realm where they need to be, is good. So goodbye. Don't want to talk to you like
Yeah, you're talking. Do you hear what's going on behind you?
Oh, absolutely.
There's somebody go.
Yes! Oh my, did you hear me?
I know, I heard that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to
behind her.
listen to the footage.
She's talking and somebody's going.
We gotta realize we're behind the fireplace.
Yeah.
This was.
I've got goosebumps. Can you see the goosebumps?
Oh wow.